Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the NCFAA Contributions to College Football Award, a 2018 MEAC Hall of Fame inductee and Howard University great, Jay Walker.
Good evening. I'm honored to stand before you as a product of playing football at Howard University, an historically black college. College football did not reach its full potential until it embraced historically black colleges and universities. Because like life, nothing reaches its full potential until everyone can participate. HBCU football has impacted every aspect of our sport: the culture, the music, the struggles, the brotherhood, and the achievements. The absence of HBCU football would have deprived the college football world of names like Coach Eddie Robinson, Paul Tank Younger, James Shaq Harris, Walter Payton, Coach Jake Gaither, Jerry Rice, Doug Williams, Steve McNair, Michael Strahan, and so many more, all of whom played or coached the game to prove that they were not just equal to their mainstream counterparts, but in many cases, superior. HBCU football provided all those names, along with Tariq Cohen and countless others, with something simple yet imperative for anyone involved in college football: an opportunity.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? My name is Tariq Cohen. I was wondering if you could take a look at my highlights and tell me if I would be a fit to join your wonderful football program. If you could, take a look and give me any feedback. Please and thank you, Tariq Cohen. I would write those letters to the position coach and the recruiting coordinator. My senior year, I think I had 1,500 rushing yards, and I had like 30-plus touchdowns. I was getting nervous because my teammates were starting to get offers, so I would just look at, their recruiting visits and just wish I was on them. As the season went on, it grew to a whopping 0.
0 is not a number, but an absence, in this case, of hope, that afflicts so many kids like Tariq, full of talent and desire, but lacking opportunity.
HBCUs were started because there was no other place for black students to learn. Most early on were started by religious institutions, churches. There were no white institutions that would admit black students back after Reconstruction. And so black folk knew that they had to educate themselves, and so they started first at smaller schools, still even on the plantations, and then eventually they moved to campuses, mostly in the South, built those campuses through resources of their own, and started over 100 of these schools around the country.
HBCUs provide them an education and the chance to better their lives, give them opportunities that they had been denied as slaves.
Among the opportunities denied was the chance to play football. Over a century and a quarter ago, the first black college football game was played between Livingstone College and Johnson C. Smith, then named Bigelow University, and a new era began.
It gives a lot of individuals an opportunity to be able to achieve something, whether or not it's athletically, academically, to a place that they can be comfortable and at the same time learn who they are and what they have to deal with in America.
Some, would find their ways to the Power 5 schools, clearly good enough to play there, but they don't have the opportunities, and that's the big thing. Those athletes would lose twice: the opportunity to compete and the academic opportunity.
The only schools that offered me back then was HBCUs. I don't know where I would be if it had not been HBCU.
I don't have the funds to pay for college and go play football. I was going to enlist in the Navy. A historically black university gave me my only opportunity. North Carolina A&T gave me my only scholarship offer. Without them, I don't know where I would be.
Wow, man. Just to think that if there was no HBCU, make me tear up, because so many people I know and that means something to me attended HBCUs because they couldn't go anywhere else.
Playing at an HBCU, you understand that you have a natural chip on your shoulder, that nothing's been given to you, that you have to work a little bit harder in all things that you want to do.
The list of those in search of an outlet for their work ethic include more than players who likewise find their place and their purpose in HBCUs.
Eddie Robinson, what he brought to the game was this idea of rigor, this idea of excellence. And if you wanted to be a great player and learn how to be a great player, then you wanted to not only go to Grambling, you wanted to learn what Coach Eddie Robinson was teaching.
Eddie Robinson who made you understand that it's about being a good citizen, it's about being a good husband, a good brother, and being able to survive in this world and learn how to deal with people. Coach Rob used to tell us all the time that we can do so much with so little, we can almost do anything without nothing.
In order for blacks to survive in this country, you know, we had to be resourceful and creative, and that just carried over when they went into coaching. Some of the innovative coaches include Jake Gaither at Florida A&M. He came up with the split line T. The linemen had wider gaps than normal. What that did is what teams are doing today, spreading the field. John Merritt at Tennessee State, he loved to see the ball in the air and throwing the ball all over the place back when most offenses were 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Willie Jeffries at South Carolina State, he developed the freeze option, and that was just a takeoff on the option play where instead of faking to the fullback between the guard and the center, the quarterback would fake to him straight ahead and then just hesitate for a minute. And that caused the defense to hesitate for a minute. And then the quarterback would run the option as usual. Of course, Archie Cooley at Mississippi Valley with Jerry Rice and Willie Totten, the quarterback, with what they call the satellite express offense. Bill Walsh kind of borrowed from Cooley's offense when Jerry Rice went to the 49ers, and that became the West Coast offense.
The entertainment of HBCU football is not limited to the 4 quarters of the game, but is enhanced by what happens at every halftime.
Halftime shows really, dominate the whole atmosphere at HBCU.
The bands, the bands.
We give them 2 shows. We give them one during halftime, and we give them one during the game.
We don't need the TV announcer to come to a game day experience when you're at a black college. All you need is the band and the dancers.
I mean, those stadiums are electric. So when you're watching HBCU football, when you go to commercial break, all you're missing the bands throw down.
The bands are a part of HBCU cultures because of the music, because of the dancing, choreography, and because of how music plays a central role in black life. It tells our story.
Ohio State got a lot of publicity with their band performance. They're good. They're not HBCU good.
There's no way to quantify spirit, inspiration, progress, and hope. So instead, we just give thanks for the immeasurable contributions and influence of historically black colleges and universities to college football.
And now, accepting the Contributions to College Football Award, some of the living legends, the gatekeepers, legendary coaches, Marino Cassim, the Godfather, Willie Jeffries, Bill Hayes, Archie Gunslinger Cooley, and Rod Broadway.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, on behalf of all of us, thank you guys so much. It's awesome to have them here for what they've done for the sport that we all love over decades and for taking the time to join us here tonight. Coach Jeffries, the first African-American head coach in Division I, Wichita State, the only man to face both Eddie Robinson and Paul Bryant in the same career. You beat them both, right?
Well, yes, yes, we won both games.
Exactly. Let the history book show that. But you went back to Howard, South Carolina State, and passed up other opportunities. Why was it so important to you to stay to your roots and coach at those 2 institutions?
Well, I resigned from Wichita State in 1984. I had a chance to go to West Point, to go to Howard. And I just felt like at an HBCU that I could accomplish more to help those young men get their degrees and be good football players.
Mission well accomplished. Numbers cannot begin to express the contributions of these institutions of football, but here are a few amazing numbers. Nonetheless, more than 700 players in the NFL Common Draft since 1967, 30 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and 30 in the College Football Hall of Fame in this building. So, Coach Bill Hayes, let me ask you, you heard Tariq's story. There are so many before him. There'll be many after him. When you hear that kind of comment about the opportunity, what it meant to him, what does it mean to you on a night like this?
Giving Tariq and a lot of players like Tariq an opportunity. You know, I had over, 128 guys that signed NFL contracts from HBCU, so the Tariq Cohens of the world go hand in hand with black college football.
When you hear those comments and you hear players that you coach come back and tell you what you meant to them, can a coach get a higher compliment?
Never. That is the greatest part of it all. That's why we're richer than rich. That's why all of us guys who take the time and make those sacrifices to coach at historically black colleges are rich beyond your imagination.
It's a calling indeed, and we thank all of these guys and so many more like them that they represent here tonight for answering that calling and doing great stuff over the decades for college football. Guys, we appreciate it. Congratulations again.